Hi, it's me, Nicole Phoenix Star, and this is the Next Star podcast. So, I have had a bit of a theme going on of late with people that I've been talking to and things that I've been listening to and reading, and yeah, it just feels appropriate to dive a little deeper into all of this. And essentially it comes down to radical responsibility for your journey and your relationships and all the things, really. And a really great place to start if you are a parent is recognizing the impact your behaviors and language and general being have on your children, because they learn from witnessing and they create habits from that. And so many times we say something and do something completely different, and it's very confusing to a child who believes you, because if your word and your actions incongruent, they end up not believing anything or listening or doing or anything. And it's a really huge imprint. And I don't know, it's so fascinating watching like the ripple effect of how you show up on people in your household, and particularly children. They see you talking a certain way, or they see you eating a certain way, or they see you moving a certain way, and they very quickly take that on. And although it's a really like clever parenting hack, it's also really impactful when you aren't being mindful of your behaviors and your words and your actions. And that goes with anyone and everything, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's in friends groups, whether it's in a relationship with anyone and anything. I see. It's so fascinating hearing myself mirrored back from my children, and particularly like Leo, who's 11. He, is an extraordinary feedback point, and that's the same for everyone. If your children are going through something or having behavioral issues, it's really helpful to look at what you are doing while they're in the room, in the space, while their little ears are listening and you don't realize. It's a really, really big piece. And it's no different to your body, the way you self-talk and nourish and move. Like, it's no different to the self. And if you are speaking negatively or reinforcing a situation or reliving the past over and over again, like, your body's listening, and it can store memories, and it can be in a state of dis-ease, and your hormones can be affected, and all of these things, like it's all the same. And I had a couple of people that I've been working with that are in a bit of a health crisis and trying to heal their bodies from sickness or disease. And I've been taking them through a process of seeing the organ or the thing as whole, as healed already. Because if you are seeing it as broken or hurt or unwell, you are reinforcing the same. And so whenever I have been in health crises or had an issue of any form, like I healed my tooth once from seeing it as no longer being a years-long problematic issue. You know, if you've been around for a while, you know about my collapsed valve heart journey and how rather than trying to heal my heart, I nourished it with heart supportive nutrition, as well as seeing it as strong and healthy and vibrant. And all of these things matter, like not just one thing, you know, not taking one pill or eating one food or having one, you know, thought is going to take you to a fully healed realization. We need to be really aware of how many angles we can come at. And that's with anything and everything. And so many people that I work with that are sick and tired of being sick and tired, when I ask them, do you trust yourself? The answer is almost always no. And I say, do you think you have your own back? Again, almost always no. Are you in a willingness to show up for yourself completely? Again, no. Most of the time. Do you let yourself down? Yes, I do. And these are the points that I bring to their attention to be in awareness, because ultimately, if we can trust ourselves impeccably, we know that we will never let ourselves down. That we truly have our own back. You know, that's taking radical responsibility. It's a level of emotional maturity. And, you know, like, there are times where things don't work out and not seeing it as a failure, but recognizing that perhaps that was not the right path. Perhaps that the idea you had was so much smaller or so much less effective than what did happen. And if it all does come crashing down, know that sometimes full destruction is needed for rebirth. And this can get really slippery because, you know, if we do let ourselves down, we go, oh, it's just meant to be. You know that that's just sneaky ego making up stories. It's to be at that, you know, complete honesty, completely honest with yourself. Speaking truth always, no matter how difficult it is. Finding the age-appropriate language to speak to children always in truth. And situational appropriateness for a situation, whether it's an intimate partner, a work colleague, it's a stranger. Again, having the discretion to know that. And these are the things to work on. These are the things to sit in awareness of when navigating life. Because ultimately, if you can truly trust yourself and know you have your own back, then you won't let yourself down. You won't experience the loops of self-betrayal. And that is liberation. That is freedom on a level that is unimaginable. And you don't see others that aren't congruent with their word as, mean people and you're a victim. You just say, they're letting themselves down by not following through on what they said they would do for me. They've got work to do, just as I have, just as most people do. And recognizing that, so many times people will let you down, or you can't trust them or whatever. It's them letting themselves down and not trusting themselves. And you do that too. And it's very different, and everyone's where they're at in their journey. But rather than kind of looping into victim mentality about other people's behaviors, just recognize that that's where they're at. And the only way for them to change is to be inspired. And for you to be that inspiration. And that's not a duty. And that's not necessary. But if you do want someone to change, lead. Be the light. Everyone will benefit. There's never not a scenario where everyone will benefit. It's really about letting go of attachments and righteousness and duality and right, wrong, good, bad. They just get you tripped up. It's really, really, really difficult when you just drop into that. Why is this happening to me? Because it's always happening for you. It's always happening for me. This incredible, beautiful experience, this excruciating, horrendous experience, it's always happening for me. To learn to grow, so I can trust myself, so I can have my own back. And I never recognize another self-betrayal. Can you imagine? It is unimaginable, and it is possible. It's been many years now that I have completely trusted myself. I've completely had my own back, and I've never let myself down. And it's really hard to articulate how the amount of stress that's taken away from my body and my experience in my life by never questioning anything. And how that ripples through people around me, how that ripples through my children, people who work with me, the people I saw at the store today. It just is not an on and off button. It's just a way of being. And it's freedom. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you so much for listening. I'm so grateful. If there's anyone you feel may benefit from this, please share. My website is www.nickstar.com, NIKSTARR. Thank you. Blessings.